Rio, Mount Rushmore for the strikers, bro. I know what you do on the Instagram, on the Rio Ferdinand Presents Instagram and the socials on X, etc. and TikTok. You put 6 strikers instead of 4, but you need to stop cheating. Yeah, stop cheating. We need to make sure that we bring it down to 4. So we've gone away and we've got the statistics, the information. What are we saying?
Can we ever have a list of the best striker, number 9, in the Premier League without having the top goal scorer on that list, Alan Shearer?
No, you can't. He has to be in the conversation.
Is he like the first one that has to go on there because of that reason? The top goal scorer. By the way, he's got 441 games. He scored 260 goals. The next one is 213 goals. Harry Kane.
Do you know
it's a long way back.
Do you know what my argument is going to be?
What?
And again, it does depend on games per goal ratio. But you've got here Eric Cantona, who only had 70 goals. Yes, he only played 162 games, but he's very low down the list. There's that
in terms of what?
Goals, yeah. But
impact was huge.
So I think goals should outweigh the list.
Yeah.
Because this is strikers Mount Rushmore. But
you look at that. If you Cantona, for me, someone is like he's not. His game wasn't all goals.
Yeah.
His game was influence, was impact. He represented a whole generation, whole era of Premier League football. He was a catalyst to turning Man United into a winning machine.
Yeah.
Like, that carries weight in itself. But is that enough to get on the Mount Rushmore of number 9s in the Premier League?
I mean, when you're Eric, there's a strong argument. But, look, let's start, Rio. You're putting Shearer on there, aren't you?
You can't have a number 9s list, a goal scorers list, like the top number 9 in Premier League history, and you don't have the top goal scorer on there. Don't make sense. That record... People going, oh shit, Harry Kane's going to break that record.
Could have if he stayed.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Yeah,
he left.
No,
he went past his new, won a trophy, done well. Wayne Rooney, he's got a chance to break it. No.
Yeah.
Like 52 goals behind. That's like 2 seasons worth of goals if you're at your best. And probably 3 seasons behind.
And Wayne Rooney played more games than Shearer as well.
Yeah. Like
he
played different positions. He played a bit more deeper later on, etc.
Yeah.
But I just think Shearer's record is a Shearer, by the way, had 2 knee cruciate injuries. One when he was in his prime, took him out of his prime I think he might have had about 2, maybe 3 years out of his career, by the way, and still the top goal scorer. It tells you the levels he was hitting.
Yeah, I mean, reluctantly. See, I didn't see Blackburn, Southampton, Shearer. I saw Newcastle Shearer when, he's being helped a little bit.
Shearer, Newcastle Shearer.
Well, when he first signed.
I'm going to say something, I don't know if Harry will take this, Alan, right? But Newcastle Shearer was very good.
Yeah.
Was a top player. Top. Always knew it was going to be hard day's work.
Worth the 15 million.
But easy, bargain. He'd rough you up, put a ball in a dangerous area, he's coming across you, leaving a bit on you. And if you give him room to shoot from anywhere on the pitch, inside 30 yards, the geezer's scoring.
Right.
Ridiculous. But Blackburn, Alan Shearer, I see him carrying centre-halves on his back running with them. He was rapid, quick, mow people over. And again, the finishing was unquestionable. Okay. He was a ridiculous player and a massive character, by the way.
I may have to lean on that one with you. It's not my selection; it's your selection. But I'm going to have to go with it because it's out of my...
I reckon I've put a compelling argument forward for Alan
Shearer.
I
think that was really good. To be fair, well done.
The second one who has to go on there, in my book, is Thierry Henry.
Yeah,
it's not even a question.
Nah,
I don't think I'm going to get any pushback. I might get some pushback with Alan Shearer. I ain't getting pushback with Thierry Henry.
I mean, 4 golden boots. We had to double check that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we thought it was only 3.
Yeah, to go on Gemini.
I'm telling you, man. Like it's insane.
And he probably won in a number of those seasons the assists.
I was going to say
because that weren't around then.
Well, his assists were really high as well.
I think he got 20 goals and 20 assists in one season.
Crazy. So if you're looking at his ratio, his goals per game, it's actually 0.68 goals per game as well. So
just to put that into context, Shearer's was 0.59.
That's
average.
Crazy.
So he's higher than Shearer, but he obviously played a few less games.
And he assisted way more as well.
And that's the area that I'm looking at and going, he weren't only a 4-time Golden Boot winner, so he's top goal scorer in the league. He was also contributing in other areas of the pitch, through whether it be assists, whether it be through making defenders lose sleep overnight and being the main attraction that they're all attracted to him and creating space somewhere else, or making defenders like Jamie Carragher spin around.
Yeah.
Like, mad, he was doing crazy stuff. He was a joke.
And also winning.
And winning.
You know, two Prems. I'm not saying, obviously, Shearer's got his Prem title, but, you know, TT, it's mad, isn't it? Because he's one of those where he's only got 2 Prems if you consider it compared to the other striker, well, the players in your era, especially the United and Chelsea team. But
Aguero, mate.
And the City players, but he's still like the most revered.
Yeah, I think all round he's the best number 9 strike. He's the best striker that we've seen in the Premier League.
Do me a favour.
What?
If you ever get him on Rio Meets,
we will.
Just call me.
Do you know he was on the 5 magazine at the beginning?
Yeah.
I went to the World Cup in Rio de Janeiro. We used the BBC studio. I sat down and done an interview with him.
One of my favourite. I told you it's my 2 favourite videos.
I love Titi.
I love
guy.
it.
But I just think him. I don't think there's anybody. What I'm going to say is this. I don't think there's a better striker played through the middle that done as much as he done on a football pitch and had as much impact in so many different ways like him.
And do you know what's funny? He'll still tell you that when he was younger, the better striker was Nicolas Anelka.
And I would say that as well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not the better striker, the harder one to play against. If I was picking Anelka or Arsenal Anelka versus Arsenal Thierry Henry, Anelka I found against my skill set harder to play against.
Even at 19 or
because
18 years old.
That was the best version of Anelka. Because Anelka, the biggest thing for me that I didn't like, I didn't mind running in the channels and running back to goal if there's big space. I didn't mind leaving big space, But he was quicker than me and he actually knew how to run. He timed his runs perfectly. So he was running, making decisions like a slow player, a bit like Michael Owen.
Okay.
But Anelka was madness. But it didn't last long enough. That patch didn't last long enough.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It's a shame.
Bad player.
Though. It's a shame.
But another thing with Thierry Henry, and why I'm saying Thierry Henry, I've listened to Michael Owen. He's one of the best people that I've been around breaking down centre forwards.
Right.
And especially in the green room when we're on our own and that, he's really good. And I saw him, he said something about him, Thierry. He said, when I saw him, when I was in my pomp, more or less, when I was flying, this is Michael Owen, I knew then when I saw him that there's a level that I'm not going to get to.
What, Nicolas Anelka?
About Thierry.
Oh, Thierry, yeah. He said it the other day, actually. I saw him saying on TV, yeah.
Thierry?
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore, not even a question for me. This is now where it gets sticky. Go on, I'll let you go.
All right, so, you know, you've got the likes of Ruud van Nistelrooy who are in that conversation, in my opinion. Again, you've got, you could say Eric Cantona, you've got Erling Haaland as well, that we have to respect, even though he's still on his journey. Robin van Persie, Mo Salah, who obviously a lot of people will say he deserves to be on that list. But you said Bergkamp. For me, the goals per game ratio are too low, if I'm honest with you.
0.28.
Yeah, like, you know,
But you've got 2 players on here.
Yeah.
Who, if you're going to say in terms of the best technical players in Premier League history, they'd be in the conversation. Zola, Bergkamp. Yes. But their goal ratio is 0.26 for Zola and where is he? Where's my man? 0.28 for Dennis Bergkamp.
But they both weren't like straight 9s.
Yeah, there were more 10s. They let someone else play higher.
Yeah.
So it almost kind of takes them away from the... Because I'm putting such an emphasis on goals here.
You've got Ian Wright, you've got Andy Cole, you've got, you know, we've still got Didier Drogba that we haven't discussed. I know the Chelsea fans will be thinking, what about Didier?
Can I just say Andy Cole? Can I just do something?
Yeah, go on.
He's just under 200 goals.
Yeah.
Right? Never took a penalty.
No. 5
Premier League titles.
Yes.
2 FA Cups, 1 Champions League, 1 treble. And he don't get talked about a lot.
You see those numbers, yeah.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what, though, yeah. I spoke to someone, off air. And they were saying to me in the pub the other day, they said, he's an Arsenal fan, though, so he might be biased. But he was saying that, Joel, you got to see Andy Cole play more than Ian Wright's like peak. Probably when I started watching football, if I'm honest with you. So I was seeing the tail end of Ian Wright. the emergence of yourself, etc. But he reckons that Ian Wright was probably the best finisher that he's seen in the box. So he reckons that he needed less chances to score than any other striker out there. And the difference is that other players, if they were, yes, they had good teams, obviously the likes of, like playing with the Parlours, etc. But Ian Wright's finishing was way more deadly than he gets credit for.
If you went on YouTube and looked at Wrighty's best finishes, best goals, mate, it's a ridiculous run of goals. It's a joke. I remember, was it the chip against Everton? Oh. But the thing is, what he was doing with his right foot, he could do with his left foot.
Exactly.
He could flick it over the defender's head, flick it over again, bang. He could score the ugly tap-ins. You put him through 1v1, bang, goal.
Even if you're looking at his games versus goals ratio, he's got 213 appearances, 113 goals. That's 0.53 goals per game. Yeah. Now, again, not dissing Uncle Andy, that's our guy. Do you know what I'm saying? We know how dangerous he is. Not too dissimilar, because obviously he's got 414 appearances, longevity on a madness, and he's got almost 200 goals. So it's not that far, but you're basically, Ian Wright probably doesn't get the credit he deserves, is what we're saying. Because we speak about, look at the way we talk about Thierry Henry and we talk about Anelka, like, my man was deadly.
Yeah, Wrighty was a great player. And the thing that Wrighty had, he had character. He had personality. He was the player that all the kids at school wanted to be. Yeah. Because he had that character. He's the first player that I really looked at and went, there's a representation of where I'm from. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I think the whole generation feel like that about Wrighty. Yeah. But I just think maybe it's the lack of trophies. Yes, his goal rate, but his goal. Just say his lack of trophies compared to the other people we're talking about.
Got you.
Or he's a way off in terms of goals compared to other people. Do you know what I mean? And his ratio.
Yeah, it's probably the timing, isn't it? That's why I say Cristiano, in my opinion. If they say who's the best Premier League player, I say Thierry Henry. But if you was to ask me who's had a better career or the better player overall, it has to be Cristiano Ronaldo. You know. By the way, is it fair to not have Chris? It's fair to not have him.
Yeah.
Right, cool. So then we have to pick a third one, Rio. Do you know who it is for me?
Go on.
It's got to be your boy, man.
Who?
Wayne Rooney, bruv. Like
100%.
For me,
100%.
Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen an English player with as much technical ability as he did when he burst through at such a young age. Like, we're not talking about... Michael Owen was maybe more a lethal goal scorer as a teenager, maybe. But in terms of someone that can do anything with the ball, you've probably seen players from a previous generation at a younger age who I can't really comment on. But from my generation of watching football, which let's just say 97 and afterwards, right? Or 90, 97, 98, I haven't seen anyone at such a young age have the footballing ability that Wayne Rooney has, and use it as well, by the way.
I think the thing with Wayne Rooney, right? He was a man-child.
Yeah.
So when he came in, my man had a hairy chest. He had stubble. He had more razors than he had anything else. It was like the geezer had to shave every 2 days. The growth was crazy. Like,
he has to shave every 2 days now.
At 17 years old, like mad. He was going bald. Like it's nuts in his teens. Like he was just a man child, and everything he done on a pitch was mature, other than petulance that he used to show. But his actual football IQ, and I'll talk about this a lot. There's intelligent people that walk around the streets every day, but you get them on a pitch, they ain't got a brain. And there's people that maybe seem or look a little bit less intelligent on the eye, but they get them on a football pitch and they're like geniuses. Wayne Rooney, you can think what you want about him off the pitch. You get him on the pitch, the guy is sitting at the top table. He's a genius. What he does. He knew how to use his strength. He knew how to use his pace. His IQ of spatial awareness was phenomenal. And his ability to bring others into the game and then execute himself with either an assist, a pass before the assist, or a goal was just of a different level. Like, and the best compliment I can give to Wayne Rooney is, especially when he first came to Man United, when Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo came to Manchester United. With Cristiano, I saw huge talent and potential, and I thought, wow, he could go on to do anything. Yeah. Win the Golden Boot, win the Ballon d'Or. He could do all that. I just don't know if he will.
Or when.
or when.
Yeah.
When Wayne Rooney came on the scene, I saw him the first day I saw him in training with England, and then his debut for Man United. I was sitting there and going to people, we've got Wayne Rooney. We've got Wayne Rooney.
So you was that excited.
We've got Wayne Rooney.
After winning the Premier League with Man United, which
Mate,
he'd already done.
I was saying, we are back. We got a chance now.
That's crazy.
And I was saying, in comparison to someone like, if I'm comparing him at that age with Cristiano, I'm saying, this guy is going to go and dominate football for the rest of his career.
So break
That's
it
the
down.
difference.
Break it down. I know producer Tom's going to be like, guys, we've got to shorten the show, but I just want to know the experience. Like, you've obviously worked your magic to help him come. You and the United teammates, you know him from England. What is he doing in that first training session that's making you go, we know that he's good already, but I didn't know he was this good?
I'd heard about him, and then we done a game, like 11v11, and I think he was playing against Sol Campbell, and I think Paul Robinson, who was England #1 at the time, was in goal.
About United.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you the first time I see him.
Go on.
He got the ball on the corner, just on the edge of the box on the left-hand side. He got it spun, turned in one movement and faced Sol. Didn't beat Sol. He just shifted it and whipped it top corner, far corner. And you know when everyone looks at each other and goes,
Well, like what he did against Seaman.
but the other corner. But everyone's looking like everyone's looking going, rah. Did you see? Wow.
How old is he at this time?
Must be 17. And then we played Turkey, he was man of the match. But then when he came to United, like I say, he's an old man in a young man's body, in his mind, the way he saw the game, just see it clear. Everything was clear. And he was like, off the pitch, he's like a kid. Is it? He's almost like he's living his age.
You see that game, was it Fenerbahce when he scored the hat-trick, his debut? My man told Giggs,
get off the free kick.
No, I'll take it.
That type of confidence, yeah, you don't get. That's not normal. That's what I'm saying. He walked into Manchester United at Old Trafford, where Ryan Giggs is the Don, where Ryan Giggs has got the most Premier League medals, got the most Premier League appearances out of all of us. And the free kick is there to be hit. And Wayne Rooney says on his debut for Man United at Old Trafford under the lights in the Champions League and goes, Ryan, pause.
Yeah.
Bang, goal. And he scores a hat-trick. And you've got Ruud van Nistelrooy as well, by the way, who's the goal-scoring kingpin at the time in Man United, in the Premier League, who's having to take a back seat to this kid now. He never got carried away with it. That's another thing. Humble. Never got carried away. Never was the big I am. Would sacrifice so much of his game to allow Cristiano to be Cristiano, or to allow Tevez to do what he was going to do, or to allow Nani to do something. Chase their fullback and smash him into the stands. But he's on it. He's on the Mount Rushmore. That's number 3 pick.
Wait. You see when he stands over and he takes a free kick instead of Giggsy? Does Giggsy give him that the pass because of what he saw at training?
I think if he doesn't score it, Giggsy gives him a bit.
Yeah.
But he scored. Shut up.
Madness. Okay, Wayne Rooney is on there.
Yeah,
that was beautiful, by the way. You got to get him on Rio Meets. Just give me a call.
Right.
Number 4.
I think it's between. Can I just give you where I think it's between, just to make it easier?
Yeah.
And all these names you've mentioned right on there: Teddy Sheringham, Van Persie, Vardy, Anelka, York, Lukaku, Wright, Drogba, Van Nistelrooy. Drogba for big goals has got to be in the conversation, right?
Yeah.
But Haaland, by the way, he's got the best goals to game ratio.
In the future, he'll be there, right?
He's played 66 games in the Premier League. He's got 63 goals. That's almost 1 goal every game. If he keeps that up, he's on. Yeah, but he's got to be here for at least 4 years doing that.
Why though? Why are we doing that to him? And I'm not saying you're wrong, but if you can't be here for 2 years or 3 years. But it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He's that good.
Yeah, but I'm saying right now, I don't think playing only 2 seasons gets you on this list when you've got man there that have been there playing 10 years and more.
If you're good enough,
7 years.
So what? It's like saying, Wayne Rooney was too young to be a vital part of Man United. When you're young and if you're good enough, you're good enough. End of story. His stats are saying, and by the way, he's got 2 Premier League. If we're looking at his trophies, he's already got 2 Premier League titles, an FA Cup, a Champions League, Super Cup. I know this is Prem based, but like you said yourself, goals per game, it's the highest on the list by a mile.
I agree with all of that, but again, I think you've got to be at least 4 years. You've got to be at least 4 years and dominating. You can't be here for 2 years and duck or 3 years and dip, and think you can get on the Mount Rushmore of that league. I think the 3 names is going to be between now.
Go on.
Let me know what you think. Harry Kane, who's second on the list in terms of goals, Premier League goals in history.
Yes.
Sergio Aguero, who's 6 on the list.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's between them two, you know.
What about Ruud van Nistelrooy? Do you think he doesn't make?
No, I think as a player, I'd put him up against anyone as a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Right. But all of it coming together.
I mean,
he didn't stay here long enough. Maybe
150.
He didn't win. He didn't win as much.
How many? Oh, he only won 1 Prem.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
His game was just about goal scoring. When if you compare him to Sergio Aguero, got more goals, better goals to game ratio, 5 Premier Leagues, you know.
But see, we have to be careful.
And Aguero's hard to play
against.
against.
Winning is a huge chunk, but again, we have to.
So, which player do you think is better than Sergio Aguero on this list?
No, I'll be honest with you. For me, he's the one. He's the 4th one, right? He's the 4th one, and the reason why I give him, he goes on the Mount Rushmore list for me, is because I see him very similar to, not similar game, but I see him very similar to Ruud van Nistelrooy. They love goals. They're all about their goals. But what you've just said is true. 5 Premier Leagues. You can't really argue with that. And on top of that, as important as Ruud van Nistelrooy was with Man United, Aguero is just as important for Man City. You know,
I'm thinking about it now, and
I
think Aguero is one of the hardest I played against, or hardest strikers that I played against in the Premier League in my whole Premier League career. Yeah, short, small, powerful, both feet. Was happy to go both feet. I think we forget what he was like in his pomp.
Yeah,
he was devastating. He was so difficult to play against. Like I say, when a striker can go both ways, for a defender, it's a nightmare. It's like Thierry. I knew Thierry really wanted to go on his left. I mean, on his right foot. Do you mean 9 times out of 10, Thierry's going to go on his right foot. But also, the difference with Thierry, he could push it on his left and get round it and bend it again with his right. So he's probably like an anomaly in that sense. But like Jermaine Defoe, I know he wants to go on his right. Do you know what I mean? Darren Bent, I know you want to go on your right foot.
Yeah.
You're so more dominant. When you've got someone like, even Luis Suárez was really hard to play against. He wants to go on his right foot. So you can half prepare. With Aguero, if you give him a glimmer on his weak side, he will say, "Thank you very much, blap, goal," and jog back. Like, that's the difference. Whereas the others, they'll say, "You sure? Oh, let me try again. Go back on my right. Oh, I can't. Okay, then I'll take it." And then I'm hoping clean.
Who did you struggle to play against more, Sergio Aguero or Luis Suárez?
Aguero.
Really?
Yeah, because Sir Alex Ferguson, I've said this before on the pod. Sir Alex Ferguson said to me about Suárez, he was flying. We played at Anfield. And he said to me, he didn't really give me loads of advice, Sir Alex, right?
Which I find shocking.
I know, but I knew that he saw a mad threat in Suárez, and it was Liverpool. And he come to me during the week before the game and said to me, "Rio, you're playing Suárez this weekend. If you make a decision when he's got you 1v1, which he's going to get you 1v1 at some point in the game because our fullbacks will push on a bit and he'll get you 1v1 around the box, make him make the decision. If you nibble, he's got the quick fibre twitches that could just move, boom, see you later. He wants you to move. He'll ricochet it through you. If you say to him, just jockey as far as you can go before you have to engage and say, go on, make your decision, he'll turn out and play somewhere else."
Wow.
And I stuck to that in the game, and I was like, "Rah, the manager was a forward, you know." So it's not like he's talking as a defender, but he obviously knows what forwards like and don't like. And it was a really great bit of insight that I utilised to get the upper hand in a game over a player.
What was the score?
I'm not sure. I think we won or we drew. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I just know my battle with him as a 1v1, I had probably 2 or 3 situations in the game where I had to think about what the manager said, implement it. We've agreed on Shearer, Henry, Wayne Rooney.
And
who's
Sergio
next for you?
Aguero.
You've gone to Sergio Aguero?
Yeah, Sergio. In the Premier League, yeah. Like you said, if you're talking about importance, he's got it, you know. Aguero!
Shut up.
5 Premier League titles, he's got it. You know, if you're looking at the goals per games ratio, he's got it.
I'm going Aguero.
You know?
I'm going Aguero.
And don't forget, he was injured quite a lot as well, by the way. Still.
I think special mention has to go Cantona, Bergkamp.
Yeah.
Andy Cole.
Yeah.
Special mentions. Harry Kane.
I'm trying to
special mention. Harry Kane second on the list. Never won a trophy though.
I was going to say, that's what lets him down, isn't it? No wins.
He had assists, Harry Kane, scored goals, was their main guy, but he didn't get the trophies, and I think that has to count for something.
Do you know who else could have could have been up there
Drogba
if he
could have been
played
on it.
for Drogba, but also if RBP was winning Premier League titles.
Earlier. If he'd left Arsenal earlier. Say it.
I was trying to avoid. I was trying
Say
to go around.
If Van Persie, Van Pizzle is what I used to call him, Van Pizzle, left Arsenal 3 years earlier, he would have been on Mount Rushmore. I'm going as far to say that.
Wow.
So here is the recap of the Mount Rushmore we've decided of number 9, the strikers in the Premier League. We've gone for Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry, Wayne Rooney, Sergio Aguero.
Let us know in the comments if you agree. Have we left anyone out? Give us your compelling arguments. Let us know across the board. We are here to listen and we will feed back in the next video. Joel Bayer, Rio Ferdinand, signing out. Peace.
Thanks, guys, for listening to this episode of Rio Reacts. Hope you've enjoyed this show. And if you have, make sure you leave us a review and follow this Rio Ferdinand Presents feed to make sure you never, ever miss an episode. If you've got a point you think we should be discussing or want to put us on the spot with a question you want answering, get in touch using the fansfirst@rioferdinandpresents.com email address or use #RFP on social. See ya on the next one.